Hey everybody, it's Amanda here, author of The Insightful Parent, and I'm here with Rebecca Argentine, a strategic life coach in the Tampa area and online as well, I guess, so around the world if need be. Yep. So we're here discussing Chapter 6, but before we get to Chapter 6, we wanted to kind of encourage you as the viewers on just a couple of key points. I know sometimes at the thought of bringing on a life coach or the thought of, opening a parenting book, there's a lot of intimidations, as though there's like fear of, kind of like fear of fixing ourselves. And I think we were talking in order, but I feel like the reversal is even, yes, we want you to trust the process, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but asking for help doesn't mean you're broke. And Rebecca, share a sec about that, right? And then we'll flip-flop and go to trust the process.
Sure. Basically what we got to remember is that we've, gotten to this point in how many years, and how long it's going to take us to undo kind of what we've learned, and we've learned by things that have happened over time, and, we have to unlearn it, and that's okay. And that's why it's okay to have somebody help you become accountable and just get that extra push to reach whatever goal it is that you want to reach.
Yeah.
And like you said, trust that it's going to just have that time, to undo what you've already done.
Yeah, because a process is not overnight,
No,
when
it's
it comes.
definitely not overnight.
No. It does. It takes years to form a habit.
Exactly.
And yes, we say days, but it does take years to change, ourselves for the better. I have a neighbor who, phenomenal, healthy Marine, and the man burns more calories doing nothing in a day than I could burn in an entire week. Right. And he was saying to me a little while ago that I would attribute him as the most physically fit person that I personally know, but he wanted to hire a personal trainer. And so for me, I'm kind of like, wait,
right. You're
what?
Fit with.
Yeah.
Right.
But the reality was he had been in this process long enough, and he had gotten himself to a point that he was satisfied with, but he knew he could be better.
Right.
And so it was that step, that personal trainer, that picking up the book, that calling the life coach,
right.
that asking for help doesn't mean you're broke.
No.
And then knowing for as far as you've come, you've endured a process already.
Exactly. Give yourself credit.
Yeah.
Definitely give yourself credit for surviving, where you are now. That's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
Yes.
And holding that foundation as
exactly
how many steps you've come to, and what's the next step? Do you need help to get there? That's fine.
That's fine, and it's okay. And then just trust that it's going to take baby steps to kind of do or to relearn something.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
It's changing your thoughts, changing your beliefs, and just learning to become better.
Yeah, absolutely.
We can all do that.
We can do that.
Yes.
Yes. Speaking of becoming better, sometimes we have those high and low feelings. So today we're talking about feelings.
Chapter 6.
Maybe some nuggets on how we can help each other feel better.
Well, Chapter 6, Amanda has titled Feelings, and her one point that I really liked was she called it Window to the Soul. And basically, when we have feelings, it's describing on what's going on internally. And, it requires us to understand it in order to grow. So if we're stuck, feeling with stress or anger or anxiety, it's going to then, kind of, something bad's going to happen. It's going to manifest in something that's not going to work. And you have feel worried because we think something bad. That's perception as well. It's always been this way in the past. It's going to be the same in the future. And it doesn't have to be.
Nope.
But if we put that thought out there, it more than likely it's kind of going to be that way.
Yep.
And if we're always working on anxiety, guilt, or shame, which are the bad things, then, that's not going to help us either.
Yeah.
And those are the things that it's good to talk to somebody about to see, why am I always anxious with this? Or why do I feel guilty? And kind of just work through that. And the life coach can help you. If it's just, like I said, the top level, we're not going to go into deep stuff, and it's okay to kind of look at it ourselves. The other thing that I kind of like to do is you called the feeling thermometer.
Yes.
And I love that because a lot of us, something happens, we have an immediate feeling, and then we react. And that reaction doesn't always necessarily give us the best outcome.
Yeah.
And what a lot of people, myself in particular, and no matter what, depending on what kind of day we have, go from something happens, we feel it, to we immediately react. And that's where we've got to figure out, well, okay, let's take that time in the middle and pause to say, what's the best way to react? Okay, I know this happened, it wasn't good. Let me think about it and hopefully get a better outcome or belief or whatever is after that. So your feeling thermometer of being down here and then, immediately going up here. I'm probably not describing it the right way, but you just, we've got to learn to figure out, we don't always have to react a certain way if something happens.
Yeah. It is neat. Well, it's neat because the fun thing, and if you haven't seen it or but the feelings thermometer is in my book, and the cool thing is when I talk to individuals about like a stress level and they got picked on at school and I got so mad that I punched the kid back. Well, okay, so I was an 8. Okay, so let's, so before a situation, I hear the story and then I have someone do the feelings thermometer, and then I said, now you said you were an 8 at that. Do you think that was an appropriate response? And they're like, yeah, I probably should have been like a 4. And it's the coolest thing because we tend to believe that we can't control our feelings.
Exactly. That they control us.
Yeah.
That's a big misconception.
And so when you're able to put it on a scale, and it just becomes like a mathematical equation. And you really realize that you are in and yes, there's times. I mean, I was sad last night. But for the fact when people are like, I can't control myself, well, have you tried? Let's start there.
That's very true. And have you actually tried?
Yeah, so putting it on a list and identifying, it's just really neat. It's been, I've heard a lot of like success stories, liberating for people.
That's good.
The window to the soul, thank you for bringing that up because I do love it. I feel like when people talk about, well, I'm angry, I'm sad, I'm mad, I'm happy even, But the thing is, they're stopping at the window. And you're absolutely right. So that, why am I feeling this way? Or that question that gets you introspective past the window. Because it is, those feelings are all written on the pane. And so we can live life through that. We really could. Or we raise the window and then we go and kind of check out the root. If I'm happy, cool. Do this again. If I'm anxious, what happened? Why did it happen? And why am I responding this way? Okay, then let's work on that. There's roots. And let's look at the roots instead of just stay on the pain. Yeah. So I do enjoy those things, and I'm kind of like, I just want to give you guys the tools because if we could change each one, everybody one at a time, then we leave the world better than we found it.
I agree, and it is. I mean, it seems like it's hard, but like you said, once you have the tools, and once you have somebody that's helping you with those tools, and you start learning to think differently, and just taking a different view or a different perspective or understanding something, and I love the aha moment when somebody goes, oh, I don't have to react that way. Oh, that's why I did that. Yeah, I felt that way. And then a lot of times what will happen is the same incident can happen, but they might not get the same negative feeling anymore because they don't take it internally. Like you said, when we internalize all these feelings, we get sick physically, emotionally, it just affects everything. And when we learn to look at something that, used to cause us this whatever, and then we go, okay, I don't have to let it cause that. That's just, type of a moment too.
And it's you're right, because I don't think we talked about it yet in any of the videos, but it's internalizing that responsibility. One of the things you and I have talked about, right, is as parents or as friends, and and I've had, I've heard siblings say to each other is, well, Rebecca, you made me upset. No. You did something that caused me to feel a reaction, and I could choose to be upset by it or not. But you can't make me feel anything, and I can't make you feel. And so there's a lot of ownership, but it also means a lot of responsibility.
Exactly. And it's a lot of responsibility too, because if I say, well, you can't make me feel that way, it does not give you the right to then go to be a butthead and go, okay, well, all right,
they're still healthy.
They're still healthy and responsible behaviors too, on how you treat. So
absolutely, exactly. It's not a ticket to abuse by no means. but it's also we need to be responsible for, you know.
Exactly. We are
Yeah.
responsible for how we react or how we feel in the
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
cool. Awesome.
Okay.
So is that what you got for chapter 6?
That's what I got for chapter
Awesome.
6. Yeah.
All right, well, thanks for joining us, and we appreciate, you know, your view, and we will catch you again soon.